Devil's Lake is a lake in the U.S. state of North Dakota. It is the largest natural body of water and the second largest body of water in North Dakota after the artificially created Lake Sakakawea. In 2011, it reached an unofficial historical high elevation of 1,454.30 feet. The lake can reach 1,458.0 before naturally flowing into the Cheyenne River via the Tolna Coulee. The city of Devil's Lake, North Dakota, takes its name from the lake, and the Spirit Lake Reservation is located on its southern shores. The name Devil's Lake is an approximate translation of its Lakota name, Bieliwaka-Sika. Its Sarikaran name is Siwahawaruksti. Geography. Devil's Lake is located in Ramsey County and Benson County in northeastern North Dakota. The Spirit Lake tribe occupies most of the southern shore. Hydrology. Devil's Lake is the endorheic, or closed, lake of a drainage basin of some 3,800 square miles. The Devil's Lake Basin. The lake collects around 86% of the basin's water runoff. Above a level of some 1,447 feet AMSL, the lake spills into neighboring Stump Lake. At 1,458 feet, the combined lake flows naturally into the Cheyenne River, though the lake has not reached this level in approximately 1,000 years. The Cheyenne River is a tributary to the Red River, which flows into Canada, with eventual exit into the Hudson Bay. Current dike protection is set at 1,454 feet. Under normal conditions, Devil's Lake is shallow, saline, and hyper-eutrophic. During periods of excessive precipitation, however, the lake can be quite deep in places, eutrophic, with decreased salinity due to dilution. Salinity. Because Devil's Lake is endorheic, the lake tends to be much higher in salinity than are lakes with outlets to river systems. This is similar to the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Lower water levels increase salinity, threatening fish and wildlife. Salinity levels in the lake have been one prominent aspect of the debate over diversion of lake water into the Cheyenne River, with questions of the potential environmental impact of the diverted water on downstream rivers, lakes, and communities. Flooding. Devil's Lake is well known for its wide variations in lake levels, with large swings between low and high water levels. This owes in large part to its nature as a closed basin lake, lacking a natural outlet. The release of water is dependent upon evaporation and seepage. The low, flat terrain around Devil's Lake consists of various coulees, channels, and basins, which may be separated during times of low water, or connected during high water. Thus, the boundaries of the lake can vary greatly from year to year, depending on the amount of precipitation. The conversion of natural flood control mechanisms into agricultural land has had an effect on the flooding at Devil's Lake. Drainage of the basin's wetlands and conversion of the basin's native prairie to cropland allows water to move more rapidly into the lake, increasing water levels. In addition, the diversion of natural water flows has also been viewed as a contributor to the flooding. An increase in precipitation between 1993 and 1999 caused the lake to double in size, forcing the displacement of over 300 homes and flooding 70,000 acres of farmland. Attempts to mitigate the flooding have reportedly cost North Dakota and the U.S. government more than $450 million. Efforts to control flooding include dike construction and moving railroad lines, roads, and power lines. In response to the flooding, the U.S. Congress directed the Army Corps of Engineers to research construction of an outlet in 1997 to control the lake level through methods other than evaporation and natural overflow. The Corp's design included mechanisms for filtration and monitoring of the water, and was estimated to cost $186.5 million. North Dakota, objecting to the cost and certain water quality provisions of the plan, declined to participate in construction of the Corp's outlet. In 2003, the state constructed its own outlet to divert water from Devil's Lake into the Cheyenne River at a cost of $28 million. The outlet was completed in 2005, but was not operated in 2006 due to water quality and biota issues. The outlet operated at the maximum permitted rate for the first time in July 2009. The National Weather Service is the official government agency responsible for observing and predicting water levels at Devil's Lake. Recreation. Devil's Lake has long been known for fishing and other water sports. It has been named the perch capital of the world. There are a number of boat ramps and other facilities around the lake to facilitate recreational activities on the lake. Recreation in the form of open water and ice fishing is estimated to have generated more than $20 million annually. Sully's Hill National Game Preserve is located on the lake's southern shore. Graham's Island State Park is located on an island in the lake. Other parks on the lake include Black Tiger State Recreation Area and Shelvers Grove State Recreation Area, which is now closed due to the lake's flooding. Issues and controversies. Outlet controversy. During the most recent wet cycle, which began in 1993, the lake rose over 26.5 feet, inundating 140 square miles of primarily agricultural land, necessitating the expenditure of over $400 million in flood protection measures and leading some to call for an emergency outlet into the Cheyenne River. A proposal from the Army Corps of Engineers would have drawn water from a different point of the lake, included filtration, and been able to discharge a maximum of 300 feet cubed per second of water from Devil's Lake, lessening the reliance of drainage on overflow or evaporation. The Corps of Engineers estimated project costs to amount to $186.5 million, with the United States Congress designating $100 million to the project. North Dakota would have paid the remaining amount. The North Dakota government under Governor John Herven, objecting to water quality provisions and the amount of necessary funding, instead constructed its own outlet with approval of the North Dakota Department of Health and the U.S. State Department and Council for Environmental Quality. The North Dakota's outlet, which cost $28 million, has a lower maximum discharge than the federal proposal by the Section 402 NDPDES permit, and includes a gravel filter for the removal of larger organisms. It has provided some relief to the flood problem. Construction began in 2003 and was completed as of summer 2005. The outlet drew opposition from the governments of Minnesota and Manitoba. They argue the outlet would create the potential for the transfer of unknown foreign aquatic species and high levels of sulfates into the Red River Basin and Lake Winnipeg, the world's 10th largest freshwater lake. In March 2004, Manitoba, along with Minnesota and several environmental groups, sued the Department of Health in state court over the Devil's Lake Outlet 402 NDPDES permit. The court ruled the outlet could proceed in August 2004 and May 2005. In addition, though the Boundary Waters Treaty of 1909 established an intermediary, the International Joint Commission, through which the United States and Canada can solve cross-boundary water disputes, the IJC has no power to act without invocation by both nations. Canada attempted to invoke the IJC for purposes of conflict resolution, but the United States did not, effectively preventing the IJC from taking part in the controversy. The government of Canada Canada argues it is a violation of the Boundary Waters Treaty of 1909 and Canada's national sovereignty. The U.S. government contends the diversion will not be harmful or violate the treaty under current conditions. In November 2005, a joint United States and Canadian study concluded that none of the 13 species Canada classifies as invasive were present in Devil's Lake. The study did find 3 species of fish parasites that are not currently known to exist in Lake Winnipeg. However, all 3 are ubiquitous to the waters of North America and have a wide variety of hosts. A difficulty inherent in determining what species are in Devil's Lake versus Lake Winnipeg results from spatial relationships. Lake Winnipeg covers approximately 9,400 square miles, dozens of times larger than Devil's Lake. In addition, the Devil's Lake Basin is significantly smaller than the watersheds feeding Lake Winnipeg, including the Saskatchewan River Basin at approximately 56,000 square miles. Drawing conclusions about the biological community already in Lake Winnipeg is difficult, due to the relative lack of biological sampling compared to Devil's Lake. Carp. Due to the rising waters of the Devil's Lake and its basin, streams can flow into the Red River Valley of the Devil's Lake Basin. The Red River Valley Basin contains 8 rough fish, the common carp, which the North Dakota Game and Fish Department fears will enter Devil's Lake Basin waters in the near future, allowing the carp to populate Devil's Lake. The carp's fast reproductive growth and the lack of carp predators in the lake will likely help it to dramatically increase in population. This could have drastic consequences for existing populations of game fish, such as the walleye and northern pike, which could greatly harm the sport fishing industry. Some preventive measures have been proposed, including inserting chemicals in the creeks along the boundary of the Devil's Lake Basin and the Red River Valley to kill fish. Biologists did tests in 2005 which conclude that there are currently no carp in the Devil's Lake Basin, but some have been found within 2 miles. The carp appear to have been stalled by the abundant cattail plants, which makes travel impossible for the fish. Railroad problems. From 2009 to 2013, the BNSF Railway temporarily ended freight service between Devil's Lake and Churches Ferry, a total of 19 miles, in favor of the coast subdivision, due to the lake's rising waters. Amtrak's Empire Builder currently operates on this route, serving Grand Forks, Devil's Lake, and Rugby, ND. BNSF has offered Amtrak the right to operate over the coast subdivision, and has suggested Amtrak make a station stop at New Rockford, but Amtrak has stated that they will continue using the line. In the next few years, Amtrak will either have to rebuild the bridge that crosses the lake in Churches Ferry, or reroute. On June 15, 2011, it was announced that BNSF and Amtrak had reached an agreement to each cover 1/3 of the cost of rebuilding the rail line, with the United States government covering 1/3. After the rebuilding and raising the track, through service from Devil's Lake to Churches Ferry has since resumed.